Okay, welcome back everyone. If you'll recall, this is one of 3 lawnmowers I got for free. This is from a good friend of mine, good customer I just got, named Leah, so I thank her for this lawnmower. In the video where we were checking this out, we found out that it has a fuel problem. For some reason it won't stay running, and I'll show you that. This is the model number of this Craftsman. It's a 917 3881 13. I would assume by that serial number that this was manufactured in 07. Still in good shape though, pretty much. I know it was outdoors when she gave it to me. But the deck is actually stamped pretty thick on this one. I'll start it and show you that the carburetor is not drawing any fuel. Okay, I'm going to prime the carburetor. It's a little pump bulb here in the front. I actually thought that wasn't working to begin with, but I think it is. That's what we're getting. If you guys are like me, you have like a little favorite toolbox you like to use for stuff. I've got this one. I've got pretty much anything I need to work on with a small engine if it's a simple problem. And the first thing we're going to do is pull that air filter cover off and look at that carburetor. Okay, to take that off, I'm going to be using a flathead screwdriver. I carry that toolbox with me out in the field a lot. If I have to service somebody's lawnmower that I can't bring it home or something. I actually had a guy to complain to me pretty good the other day about charging him $60 to do a tune-up on his lawnmower. But he didn't realize that the stuff I bought was $20 or more to do it with. And I was cutting him a break because he's a vet, but he got mad about it being $60. I said, well, I just had a tire fixed at Joe's tractor yesterday, and they have a sign that says their shop rates effective immediately are $90 an hour. And he was complaining about me charging him $60 to do what I did, and actually I would have charged about $75 or $80. But you know, that's it. Just a little rant there. But people complain when you do stuff for them, but you know, you're trying to save them a little money. I just don't understand it sometimes. Actually, that air filter right there don't look all that bad. It's fairly clean. In fact, can be reused. So the air filter is definitely not clogged up. Okay, the next thing I might try is spraying some carbon choke cleaner down in there and starting it and seeing if that clears some kind of blockage that might be there. I have got lucky a lot of times breaking these carburetors free by using some of this Max carbon choke cleaner, throttle body cleaner. I say if you can avoid taking the carburetor off, then don't do it till you have to. I'm going to stick that way up there in the hole, spray some of that in there. Just let that sit in there for about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll try to start it again and see if that breaks our blockage free. Okay, while that carburetor is soaking in that carb cleaner there, or got it sprayed in it, I'm gonna take a look at this spark plug. Ugh, that was in there. Sometimes that can be an issue too with these things continually running. Let's see what that looks like. Actually, that's fairly clean, I believe. Not bad looking at all. So I'm gonna just stick that back in there. This lawnmower is kind of surprising me, actually. I fully expected to pull this off and find a bunch of dirt and crud in there. It actually don't look too bad. I expected to find a lot of crud in there and didn't really see nothing. So hopefully this is just a case where the lawnmower has sit around a while and it'll start up. We've got our carb and choke cleaner sprayed in there. I'm going to wait a few more minutes and then I'm going to try to start it. Okay, we're going to wind up the slingshot here. Prime this thing. I'm going to pump it really good. Just not break the cover, I hope. But I'm going to pump it really good. Get that fuel kind of flowing through there. That bulb may need to be replaced before long. Okay, yeah, we're going to try it and see if that cleared the carburetor out. If not, we're going to, with the age of this thing, probably have to take it off and clean it out. Let's see what we get. Well, that didn't help very much. So it looks like we're going to have to take that carburetor off and take a look at it. Okay, this is a 5/16 socket that I'm using. Gonna take out that bolt. There's two more. One right there. One right there. And then this plate comes off. There's a Phillips head screw that's right here on top you got to take loose. And that releases that plate. Our carburetor is right here. There's two bolts to get it off. Okay, I'm going with a 10mm here. get your bolts out of there. If I drop a bolt, I'd never find it again. Somebody in China finds it, and where did this come from? Okay, I'm gonna be taking my fuel line loose here. This thing has gas in it, so I better prepare for that. This thing is bothering me. I'm gonna take it off. Don't forget to put it back on, yeah. Okay. So we can capture that gasoline there. Hopefully not more than that cup full. I think it's going to be, yes. This is why you have a fire extinguisher handy. At least that's a cleaner container. I can save some of my fuel there. Okay, anyone thirsty? An hour later, this thing drained out. Well, that's gas I can save right there. Okay. This thing's still trying to grip on me a little bit there. Yeah. Okay. And our carburetor just comes off. There's a nut on the bottom of this thing. I'm going to clean this off a little bit on the outside before I take it apart. I'll try not to disturb this gasket right here too much. This is a 1/2 inch bolt on the bottom of this. Okay, and then that comes off, and then your bowl is going to come off. Set that aside and don't lose it. And this is going to pop off of there. Might have to tap it with a screwdriver. You'll see a float right there. Slip down in this thing. Yeah, there's some crud in there, definitely. We're going to clean that out. And you've got a pin right here that runs through this float. Just take that pin out right there. Don't lose that either. Try to keep all these parts together, and then your float will lift out of there like that. Okay, then you can see down in the carburetor your jet there. We're going to clean that out with throttle body cleaner. Good solvent, and get that through there, and then take an air hose and blow it out. I would venture to say this carburetor's never been cleaned out. I'm I'm going to stick my hose down in that hole and spray away. About out of carb cleaner here. I'm going to do just a general spray clean up on it here. I'm just out of throttle cleaner, out of cleaner here. I'm going to have to go get some. Okay, I'm going to head out now and go to Napa and get some cleaner. Get some throttle body cleaner and carb cleaner, and maybe get some engine degreaser and clean that thing up good. Okay, I'm pulled up here at Joe's Tractor Sales. Wanted you guys to take a look at this tractor here at Joe's. This is a Massey Ferguson GC 1725. Man, this is a nice unit. That deck is thick and nice. Looks great. Looks like it could really cut through some grass. On the back it's got a place where you can attach and use some stuff. Power lift there, it looks like. This is for your controls, I guess, for that stuff. For your PTO stuff. Your height adjustment for your deck. Check this panel out here. I don't know how good you can see it, but it's actually got a pretty nice instrument board on it. And a control pedal there, I guess. That deck is just nice on this thing. Very nice tractor. 5-year warranty. Massey Ferguson. Very nice tractor, very nice. Just thought you guys might like to see that. So yeah, I just thought that was a cool tractor. Thought you might enjoy looking at that. Some other cool tractors sitting there too. They did have the Bobcats sitting there in the favored position. I just noticed those took over. Well, I got some engine degreaser. And I've got some carb and choke cleaner, so we're going to go back to the house and see if we can get that Craftsman mower working. Okay, I got my weapons of war here, the engine cleaner and degreaser and carb and choke cleaner. We'll continue cleaning this carburetor out, and then we'll get some of this mess cleaned up around it here. I'm going to spray some of this in that bowl. Just let that kind of sit in there and soak for a little bit. You always want to wear gloves when you use this stuff, guys, or at least try to. It's not really good for you. Okay, I'm going to put my straw back in and go through this carburetor again now that I have a fresh can. Whoa, sprayed it back on you there. Did it again. Did it again. You see how that's cleaning those orifices out there. Clean that off real good. Make sure you got it sprayed out real well. Okay, I've got my carburetor sprayed out pretty well here. I'm going to take some air and blow through that. Looking a lot better. Spray off my float here. Spray that wheel off. Get all the crud off of it, much as you can. Alright, that looks a lot better, Okay, this piece is our needle. You can see it there. I'm going to clean that up. Okay, that looks pretty good. And this is the pin that goes through to hold your float. Okay, then we got this piece right here. This is the bolt that goes on the bottom of the carburetor that holds it all together. You'll notice there's a little hole right there. And a little hole right there if you can see it. You want to make sure that's cleaned out right there. That hole right there in the top. And that hole. See how that's coming out of that little hole there? You want to make sure that's clear. Little hole right there. And that's our little bolt that goes on the bottom. Now I'm going to clean out my reservoir. You can see that's been soaking for a little bit. This one has that something black right there. I'm gonna see if I can scrape that off. Kind of scrape some of that crud out there. It's loosening up very well. Whatever it was turned to dust. I'm gonna spray it one more time lightly here and go over it again. Okay, well, the inside of our bowl is nice and clean there. I'm going to work on this outside, get it cleaned up, and then we'll put it back together. Well, it's something really black on that thing, but I took a brush grinder and got most of it off. Of course, that's the outside. It don't really matter a whole lot, but I like things to look halfway decent anyway. So we got our bowl cleaned up. We're going to put this thing back together. Notice right here you've got a rubber ring that goes around the outside of this right here. You want to be careful with that. Okay, I'm going to put my needle back in, which goes like that. Should look just like that. Oop, I just dropped it. Where did it go? Dang it, man. I dropped that needle and I never found it. So guys, if you got that needle in your hand, don't drop it. I'm just fortunate I've got a spare old carburetor here. I'm going to try to take the needle out of that one and use it. Very fortunate I saved this carburetor. I think the bolt broke off of the bottom of this one is what happened. I think otherwise it worked. Just had a damage on that. I notice here too I've got other parts for this thing. Got a O-ring there too if I need one. Okay, well, thank God I had that. Okay, I'm gonna try not to lose this one. Dang it, I can't believe that thing dropped like that and I couldn't find it. It dropped right into a box too. I mean, you would think it would be in that box. It was not in that box. I thoroughly shook it out, everything was not there. I'll be sweeping the floor in about 3 months from now and it'll come up. Okay, I think this is the same exact same setup. This time I'm going to try not to drop it. I was showing you guys how to put it back in, or I thought I was. I was showing you how to lose the needle and seat. Just like that. The float should move freely. Alright. Your float should move freely there. Then I'm going to reinstall my bowl, making sure my O-ring is there. It's a 1/2 inch. Get that on there. don't want to over tighten that either, because I broke these bolts on these things doing this before. That's actually where that old carburetor come from. I was just using. You just want to get them snug, not too tight, because these bolts right here will break. Okay, I've got my carburetor reassembled and I'm ready to go back on. One thing I'm going to do is get my carburetor linkage back on there. Okay. Everything looks good. I'm going to put my bolts back in. Using a 10mm socket on these bolts. There's 2 on each side. Dropping bolts today. Dropping needles. I can't believe that. Fell in that box and just disappeared. Where could it have gone? Hold on to your needles. It's supposed to actually rain here all week this week. Okay, and those 2 bolts on each side of that carburetor there are tightened up. I'm going to clean this area right in here up. Just want to clean this area up in here just a little bit. There's some crud up in there. Use up the last of that cleaner and just spraying some dirt and dust out of here. Just be sure to plug your carburetor up there. Kind of clean all that mess out, because that can clog things up. Just don't want no extra dirt laying around you don't need there. Wipe some of that off. Okay, I just foamed that over with some engine cleaner and degreaser. I'm gonna let that set for a little bit and then wash it off. We'll just spray the whole thing down while we're at it. Okay, I have my plastic pieces cleaned up here and I'm ready to go back with those. Make sure you clean that air filter cover out real well, because this thing takes air from right there below. You want to make sure all that's good and cleaned out. It's not going to bring anything back in on the carburetor. And I also have my plate cleaned out here and I'm ready to reinstall that back on now. Okay, if you'll look right here, you'll see this vent tube goes right back here. Slide that on there. And I'm going to put my fuel line back on. I went ahead and reinstalled my top piece back on this. That's a Phillips head screw right there. I just like to take that off when I take it off, because usually easier to clean it up. Okay, the plate's going to go back on here just like this. See those two holes right there are going to go right here on your carburetor. You're going to have 3 screws all together. There's one here in the corner. And then you have these 2 on each side. Don't you fall out of there. Get this piece of junk running. I remember when I was taking electronics, I had a shop teacher come over to my table one time. I brought in a Curtis Mathis TV I'd been messing with. And I was working for Curtis Mathis. Well, Curtis Mathis / Rent to Own. They come in and took it over. But anyway, I'd bought a Curtis Mathis TV from there that didn't work, and so I took it to electronics class, and I thought it was a pretty nice TV. And my shop teacher said, come over there, he's like, think you can fix that piece of junk? And he just kept calling my TV a piece of junk. So I kind of took offense a little bit to it, and I told him, I said, why are you calling my TV a piece of junk, man? I like it. It worked good before something happened to it, and I want to fix it. He was like, well, Al, it's like this. He was like, it's a piece of junk till you fix it. You had a point there. Okay, I got all my 3 bolts in there. You don't want to over tighten these too much because this plate is plastic and you can crack that plastic. 3 bolts. These are 10 millimeters. I forgot to say that they are 10 millimeters. Okay, I've got my cover cleaned out and I'm ready to go back with my air filter. Goes in just like that. And then you see right here, you want to make sure you got all this real clean, because this is where your air is going to come in. You see these 3 things right here, your 3 supports are going to go right down in there. Then I'm going to get my Big Daddy screwdriver here and tighten that screw up. See, my Big Daddy screwdriver so long it's hitting the camera. Okay, well, we got our carburetor cleaned out, we got our cover put back on, our air filter reinstalled. We're about ready to give this thing a yank and see if it'll crank. Let's get it down off the table here and maybe change the oil in it first. Do I have enough confidence to just go ahead and change the oil and say it's going to run? Well, if I do that, I'll spare you the seeing that, because all I do really is I'll take off this oil cap over here and just turn it on the side, pour the oil out and replace it. If I do that, I won't bore you with that. Using some Gorilla Glue here, let me get that back on there. Let me clean that up. especially if you tend to resell a lawnmower. This looks better if it has the stickers it's supposed to have on it. So we'll glue those back down. Yeah, I'm using the John Deere for a prop here, but I'm just cleaning out a lot of the crud under the deck here. There's a pretty good little amount of crud there. It's a good idea to clean these things out every once in a while, because what can happen is the deck gets rusted out. The deck will rust out a lot less sooner if you keep these things cleaned out. Ask me how I know. So we pull that up, get some air going there. Yeah, I got my deck reasonably clean up under there. I'm not going to take that blade off and sharpen it. I believe it really needs it. Okay, this is the fuel that I saved from running out of the gas tank that I tried it with. So this is actually good because I've already had fuel in this tank. And we made sure that the fuel line was clear because it sure run out of there in a hurry. Maybe that'll be enough to start it, I hope so. I'm going to prime the carburetor. It says to push it 3 times. We're going to do it 3 or 4 here. I hope I got enough fuel in it to get it through. Okay, may take a few pulls, but we'll see if it should crank if the carburetor's clean. So far I'm not getting nothing here. Oh, I hadn't had the spark plug hooked up. Gotta hook the spark plug up, Al, dang. Okay, slingshot engaged. I'd say that's a fix. Wow. Yeah, it helps if you okay. Yeah, it helps if you put the spark plug wire on there. Got a little smoke going on over here. I think I spilled some oil when I was. Some of the oil probably ran down on the fins there when I was changing it. But it starts up and it runs really well. That engine sounds really good. I'm going to start it again. Wow, that engine just sounds good. Tighten this handle up a little bit. Wow, that thing just started right up and ran once I put the spark plug wire back on it. I was a little worried there for a minute. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to take that carburetor back apart and clean it out again or get a kit for it. But that cleaned the blockage out of the carburetor and it runs and starts now. I'm going to start it up one more time. I can't mow any grass. It's not only nighttime, but it's raining. But wow, this really worked out to be a great lawnmower. Yeah, let me try that. So let me try to start it again. Actually, I'll wait about 15 or 20 minutes and try to start it again. Pretty good. It's actually a really decent lawnmower. I might keep it for myself, more or less. It's actually nicer than a couple others I have. I might sell those and keep this one. Heck, it's harder to pull back the brake bar to the blade than it is to start it. All right, well, I appreciate you joining me, and I got two others to look at. If you watched that video where I had 3 free lawnmowers, I got another Craftsman, but it's way older than this one, and a Southland, real old lawnmower that started, but it has a problem with the pull cord. So those will be the next 2 lawnmowers as far as push mowers I'll be working on. All right, well, I hope this helps you out. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. See you later.